You can have the best plans, the most brilliant ideas, even the right amount of willpower, and still feel stuck. And you know why? Because while you're trying to get things right with your mind, you're sabotaging yourself on autopilot with habits that seem small, but are quietly sinking your life. The craziest part? Many of them look like rest, self-care, or just for today. But they're actually poison in disguise. Some people spend years trying to find themselves, when in reality, all they needed to do was stop repeating 5 silent habits that slowly destroy everything. And no, I'm not talking about the obvious stuff like lack of sleep or not drinking water. I'm talking about emotional addictions, behaviors that seem harmless, like running from stress, surrounding yourself with the wrong people, or hiding behind quick pleasures. But they're weakening you every single day. If you've been feeling unproductive, mentally drained, or like your motivation is fading bit by bit, then this content is for you. Here, you're going to finally see what no one told you before. The real leaks where your energy, discipline, and personal growth are slipping away. And the best part? You'll learn how to flip the script without needing to become someone else. Ready? First habit, avoid toxic relationships. Some people are so used to chaos that they start thinking it's normal to live surrounded by those who only drain their energy. Toxic people don't always yell or humiliate. Sometimes they just chip away at your motivation. A passive-aggressive comment here, an unnecessary demand there, and before you know it, you're waking up already stressed. It eats away at your mental health like termites in old wood. And the worst part? It slowly erodes your sense of self-efficacy. The first self-destructive habit that needs to go is exactly this: keeping relationships with toxic people. Ever noticed how after lunch with that pessimistic friend, your whole day loses momentum? Or how that family member who always dumps everything on you triggers your self-sabotage without even realizing it? These bonds aren't just uncomfortable. They become invisible roadblocks to your personal growth. And when that happens, your productivity drops, along with your discipline and the effort you're putting in. Cutting ties like these isn't easy, I know, but it is necessary. Start small, mute conversations, limit contact, stop replying immediately, then replace. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, not those who hold you back. People who help you grow, build healthier habits, avoid unnecessary stress, and even laugh freely without guilt. Oh, and if you've been feeling exhausted for no clear reason, the problem might not be physical at all. It might be behavioral. Second habit, overcome sedentary living. The truth is harsh, but it needs to be said. If you don't move, you stop. The second silent, destructive habit that's sabotaging your life is sedentarism. And it's not just about appearance or physical health. It sends a direct message to your brain that you've given up on yourself. When the body stays still for too long, the mind begins to collapse from the inside. Self-esteem weakens, stress piles up, and the feeling of stagnation takes over. Want a practical example? Swap 20 minutes of endless scrolling on social media for a walk outside. And the difference is massive. You don't have to start with a hardcore gym routine. Stretch, take the stairs, dance in your room to music you love. What matters is showing your brain that you care about you. That small daily effort strengthens your discipline, breaks negative behavior patterns, and boosts your sense of self-efficacy. And here's something interesting. People who move think better. Physical activity increases blood flow to the brain, lifts your mood, and reduces built-up stress. You start your day differently, with new eyes, new energy. And that kind of energy, it's contagious. Once your body joins the game, you gain stamina not just to be more productive, but to learn faster, adapt more easily, and even shield your mind from toxic people who used to drag you down with ease. Third habit, study broadly and continuously. Some people believe that learning ends with a diploma, and that's the third self-destructive habit quietly eating away at your personal growth. Stopping your learning journey or limiting it to a single subject. The mind, just like the body, needs movement. When you confine yourself to only one area of knowledge, your ability to adapt shrinks. And life, the market, the world, they all demand versatility. Without it, productivity stalls and motivation fades. Studying broadly is a silent act of rebellion in a world that wants to keep you shallow. When you dive into areas beyond your comfort zone, your brain wakes up, and with it, your sense of possibility. It's like unlocking doors you didn't even know were there. Ever seen a musician who understands neuroscience? A programmer who reads poetry? These unexpected combinations create brilliant, adaptable minds. And in times of stress, those minds survive while others collapse. Even more, well-applied knowledge strengthens your self-efficacy. When you master diverse topics, you feel equipped to face challenges, make decisions, and stand out wherever you go. It reduces the stress of uncertainty and shields you from the self-sabotage born from insecurity. And let's be honest, those who keep learning keep reinventing themselves. And those who reinvent themselves never stop growing, even in the face of instant gratification. Fourth habit, let go of the chase for instant pleasure. This might be the most common and most dangerous self-destructive habit, living in pursuit of instant gratification. That craving for quick relief, for easy rewards, seems harmless, but it weakens you from the inside out. Fast food, porn, social media, mindless entertainment, all of it delivers easy dopamine. But in return, it steals your discipline, your motivation, and your clarity. And before you realize it, you're stuck. Tired, without real effort. Full, and yet completely empty. Self-sabotage lives inside this subtle trap. You feel like you're doing something, but you're really just numbing yourself. Every click, every scroll, every bite becomes a way to escape the necessary stress that comes with growth. But here's the truth. You can't build a meaningful life on micro-rewards that vanish in seconds. Want a direct example? Spend 7 days off social media and notice how your mind starts breathing again. At first, it's hard, but then it's liberating. These little escapes corrode the mental strength you need to sustain healthy habits. And the worst part? The more you give in to instant pleasure, the further you drift from your ideal self. Because that version of you, it requires effort. It demands discipline. It calls for you to stare frustration in the face and still move forward. And once you start doing that, you'll realize something powerful. Real pleasure doesn't come from escape. It comes from overcoming. It comes from responsibility, from the courage to not run away, especially from the kind of stress that transforms you. Fifth habit, don't run from necessary stress. Here's the fifth self-destructive habit that most people overlook. Avoiding any situation that causes discomfort. It seems smart to avoid stress, right? But not all stress is the enemy. There's a kind of stress that builds you, that pushes you out of stagnation and forces you to grow. Avoiding challenges like public speaking, moving to a new city, or taking on more responsibility is a subtle form of self-sabotage. You convince yourself that you're protecting your peace, when in reality, you're limiting your potential. This kind of escape weakens your resilience and makes you increasingly dependent on comfort zones. Personal growth requires confrontation. That stomach drop before a presentation, that tension before starting a new project, that's fuel for evolution. You only build emotional strength when you face those moments head on. And more than that, the more you run, the harder it becomes to build the discipline, motivation, and self-efficacy. You need to handle what truly matters. If you feel like everything stresses you out, maybe the problem isn't the weight, it's your tolerance. And tolerance can be trained. Start small. Say yes to uncomfortable invitations. Take on tiny responsibilities outside your routine. Speak up, even if your voice shakes. That's how self-sabotage starts to lose its grip. And little by little, what once paralyzed you becomes just part of your new normal. And in that new normal, there's no more space for destructive habits. Only room for real growth. Now that you know these 5 self-destructive habits, the question is simple. What are you going to do with this? Are you going to keep feeding the cycle that holds you back? Or are you finally going to take responsibility for your personal growth? Because here's the truth. No one's going to do this for you. Either you master your behaviors, or they'll keep mastering your life. And the choice has always been yours. How many opportunities have you already lost because of instant pleasure? How many times did your motivation fade because you were surrounded by toxic people? And how much longer are you going to keep numbing yourself with mindless entertainment, pretending it's relaxation? It's time to stop running from stress and start using it as fuel. It's time to move, to study, to act, to prove to yourself what you're truly capable of. If this content resonated with you, if it stirred something deep inside, then subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Because here we keep it real. The delivery is deep, and the mission is clear: to help you become someone who doesn't just survive, but wins every single day. So, are you ready for the next level?